Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at Frosty Fausting 2023. It is a super big fighting game event happening this weekend. There's a bunch of games going on here. I highly recommend you check out the bracket if any of these look interesting to you. But we're going to be focusing on Smash Ultimate today because that's what we do over here. For the first seed we have Riddles, second seed Salt 1, third seed Apollo Kage, fourth Base Mage, fifth is Skittles and Chase, seventh is Leon and Dark Wizzy, ninth place is Ned, Icon, Atata, and Candle, and 13th place is Toast, Loaf, Epic Gabriel, and Psychod. Now this is a B tier size tournament and we're going to be taking a look at 3 players before we're getting into top 16, but before we do that I want to give shout outs to Toad and Zen because I think they're both very good and could make runs, but the first player that I want to talk about is Grape because I think Grape is a little bit underseeded just because he is amazing. And I think he has a very good chance versus Icon. Icon is obviously an incredible player, but I definitely think Grape has what it takes to be able to take that. And then if he does beat Icon, he would actually go into Skittles, which is another matchup that is probably tough. Like, that's a little bit worse for Snake, but definitely doable. And then he goes into Base Mage if he wins that, and that is very doable. That's a very good matchup for Snake. So I think that's a pretty good path for Grape. But let's say he does lose and he's projected to lose, or like he's projected to go to losers. He goes into Atata, which is a little bit rough because it is still Nest Snake. Not impossible, and Snake players are like getting way better at that matchup progressively, which is like always surprising me because I don't know how they're doing. I'm trying to figure it out and I cannot do it. But I think Grape definitely could pull it off, and then he goes into Epic Gabriel, and I'm not really sure how good it is like Rob Snake because we've seen like MVD and we've seen Kronos have success versus Zomba, but then we've also seen Zomba destroy Apollo Kage. It's kind of gone back and forth a lot, so that is definitely possible. And then he goes into Leon, which is Bowser, which is kind of the same thing. That's a very swingy matchup. Like, there's a lot of good things about it for Snake, a lot of good things about it for Bowser. But I think if Grape wants to have a chance to make that top 8, it's probably going to be more likely through the winner side just because of winning a Tata would be very nice because that still is a very hard matchup. His hardest one would probably be Skittles just because of the matchup there. But I think Grape is a huge up and come right now. I think he's absolutely amazing and could definitely make the run. The next player that I want to take a look at is going to be Yoda Cage. He's probably the best Bowser Jr. in the world right now, at least the best active one. He is absolutely incredible. He's supposed to lose to Atata, though I do think that is a doable matchup. It's like definitely going to be tough, and then he would go into Chase and then Apollo Kage, which is really hard, but I actually think he has a very strong losers bracket because he's a Vader, Animal Kingdom. I think he does win both of those, and then he goes into Icon, and I think Bowser Jr. should do well versus Shotos. Now, like, again, I could be wrong, maybe like Bowser Jr. gets rocked by that character, but like Bowser Jr. just has so many weird multi-hits, like with your forward air, your back air hitting multiple times, your downer obviously, that he can like kind of break through focus. His camping, he can avoid it pretty well. Your combos are still very good. You have pretty consistent killing. Your bread and butters are super strong. I feel like Bowser Jr. would actually do pretty decent in that matchup. And then he goes into Toast, which could be very hard because I don't think Bowser Jr. does great against Young Link. But at that point, hey, he's already overperformed his seed. I think Yoda Cage is a player with a ton of potential, and he's had some good wins before. Like, he's gotten some upsets, and I think this is a tournament where we could see him go pretty far. And like, Bowser Jr. still isn't a great character, but like, he still has enough sauce to make these big upsets. And if anyone is capable of doing it, I think it is Yoda Cage because he's just incredible. And the final player that I want to take a look at before we get into that top 16 area is going to be Raven King. Raven King, if you know, is a very good Joker player. He also has a very good Ike, I'm pretty sure, but I think it's mainly Joker now. And he's supposed to go against Candle, and he is supposed to lose that, but I am pretty confident that he should win that just because that's a very good matchup for Joker, as well as Raven King just being an incredible player. I think he is seated a little bit low, to be honest. He's very good. And then if he does beat Candle, he would go into Dark Wizzy, which is another pretty decent match for Joker that I think he can win. Now, Dark Wizzy is a very tough opponent to beat just because of his tempo. It's like super hard to fight, but it's definitely not impossible. And then he would go into Salt 1, which would be very hard, but then again, he's already overperformed his seed. But if we go into the loser side where he's supposed to go, I think this is where it gets pretty good for him because he's supposed to go against Ned, which I think Joker does very well against Sephiroth. Again, people may disagree with me. I feel like Joker bodies that matchup like super hard, and then he goes into Loaf, which is like not as easy as Sephiroth, but I think definitely a doable matchup, not bad for him. Then he goes into Chase, and I think that's like more closer to even for sure, but I think Raven King has some pretty good matchups along the way. I think he's a very good player. I do think he's seated a little bit low. I think I would honestly boom up into the top like 13 area, but I honestly don't know who I'd bump out of it because all these players are absolutely incredible. But Raven King is very good. I think he can definitely pull off these upsets. Maybe even Geet Salt 1. Like, I kind of ruled it off, but like, it's not impossible. He is very good, and Joker is absolutely busted. Maybe we'll see some sick gun tech that I've never seen before because any Joker player that starts busting it like footstool gun and a shield, they're going to have a massive advantage. They're just going to start doing insane stuff, and maybe Raven King's figured that out for this tournament. I don't know, but I'm very hyped to watch him. I think he could cause a lot of damage in this bracket. Now, before we get into top 16, all of these players, Toast, Icon, Loaf, Ned, Epic Gabriel, Tata, Psychod, and Candle, have the potential to definitely get top 8 in this tournament and go absolutely crazy. I think they're all not underrated, underseeded, because I think the players above them should be seated above them just because they've proven it more. But a lot of these players don't go to a lot of events. Icon, Toast, Skittles, they barely go to anything. Epic Gabriel doesn't go to that much stuff either. Loaf, like, they don't really go to that much. Psychod has a ton of potential. Like, he's one of the best Ikes, if not the best current Ike in the world right now. And Atata is so good, one of the best Nesses in the world right now. But I want to talk about Candle for a little bit, because this is 34, by the way, if you don't know. I don't know if he changed his name just for Smash.gg or Star.gg, but it is different here. So we're going to call him Candle. He has been so consistently good in 2022. It's actually unreal how many amazing placements he has. And granted, he doesn't have a lot of placements. Like, he hasn't been to that many tournaments. But, like, look, he has only one list of majors here. This is insane. And he has 49th at Double Down, where he got a win on PetCam. 33rd at SmashCon, one of the biggest majors we've ever had, with wins on Geist, Kobe, and JW. And at Main Stage, he got wins on Atorie, Cyro, Yanni, as well as in the Arcadian bracket, he got wins on Desmona, who got top 8 at Main Stage, by the way, Kirash, Chave, and Xavier. Like, 34 or Candle is such an amazing player. I think he could definitely cause some serious damage in this event. All of these players could, because they're just so many hidden talents at Frosty Fausting, which makes me so excited for this event, just because, like, any of these players could destroy this bracket, could, like, absolutely upset literally anyone here. Like, it's going to be absolutely incredible. But enough ranting, let's get on to that top 16. On to the top 16. This was, of course, made by ICOOKIEMONSTERZ. This is a very helpful graphic, so please go follow them down below. But our first matchup is Icon versus Toast, and I do think that Toast will take that. I think Icon is seeded too, but I just think Toast is such an explosive player, and honestly, I would be shocked if he was in the losers bracket. Again, this is just off of the seeding, not like the potential upsets that could happen, because that is not predictable at all. So this is just what the seeding is supposed to look like, and I do think that Toast will probably take that over Icon just because he's so explosive. I also think that's a pretty good matchup for Young Link as well, but again, I doubt Toast will be in the loser side. Now, Loaf and Ned is interesting because they're 2-2 in history. They haven't played since Combo Breaker, where Loaf did take it, but the other 3 times were at smaller events. They were at like more weekly size stuff. So I am going to give it to Loaf here, but if history does repeat itself, it's been like Ned wins one, then Loaf wins one, Ned wins one, Loaf wins one, then it is Ned's turn, but I'm still going to give it to Loaf just because, like, hey, he won it pretty dominantly at Combo Breaker, but also he was on something else at Combo Breaker, so maybe Ned will bounce back. Ned has also been using a bit of PT recently, so I think that could maybe play a factor. Like, Ned is such a good player. He's definitely a top 8 caliber. I do think Loaf will take it this time just because he is such a hidden talent, but it's not impossible that Ned does get that win. Atata versus Epic Gabriel is also tough, but I'm going to pick Atata just because I think he's been doing consistently better for longer. Now, Epic Gabriel's just come back recently because I think he was banned for a little bit there, but he came back. He's been doing pretty well, honestly. He just had a really good Let's Make Big Moves, and Atata's Let's Make Big Moves was a little bit weak, but Atata has been putting up some very strong events from that. Like, his Rise and Grind was really good. His Riptide was pretty strong as well. So I do think that Atata will take that, but, like, that's definitely a matchup that Epic Gabriel could win. I mean, he's playing Rob. Rob can literally win basically any matchup. Like, it's definitely doable. That's one, honestly, out of all these, this is probably going to be the closest one if it does happen. And then Psychod Candle is our final one, and I'd be a damn fool if I talked up Army, or rather, God, if I talked up Candle for like 3 minutes and then didn't choose him over Psychod, so I'm going to choose him. I think he's very good. I think also Olimar should be bodying Ike. Like, if Ike beats Olimar, I'm going to be shocked. Like, that shouldn't be happening. You should just be able to camp that character to death. But, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like, I don't know, he destroys Pikmin super easily and actually bodies him. I do think Candle will be winning that one, though. And then we have our top 8 side of winners. Now, the winner's side of top 16 is where it gets super exciting, because we have Riddles and Salt1, who have been in a bit of a rough patch recently, but they're both top 10 caliber players that are absolutely incredible, and I imagine they both want this tournament very badly to get back on that map and back on track. Leon, Base Mage, and Dark Wizzy are all players that have made top 8s before, and they're incredible. Dark Wizzy just had probably the most recent one. No, Leon had the most recent one at Apex, and then Dark Wizzy had that one at Big House. Base Mage has his at Summit. Like, they're all absolutely unreal, and Skittles and Chase are just these hidden talent that could explode. Chase just had an amazing Genesis. Like, Chase's Genesis was so good. He beat Riddles at that Genesis. Like, he played absolutely amazing, and Skittles, like, he doesn't go to anything, but when he goes to stuff, he farms. I am so excited for this top 8, and the first one is Riddles. It's top 16, and the first one is Riddles versus Leon, and as much as I love Leon, it is still going to be Bowser Kazuya, or I guess Hero Kazuya, not a possibility, or that's a possibility as well, or Terry in those matchups. But I do think that the matchup just plays more into Riddle's favor there. But Leon is obviously an incredible player that could possibly make that upset. Base Mage and Skittles. Now, I think Base Mage is seeded to take this. I think Skittles probably takes it. I think Young Link should destroy Puff. Like, it shouldn't even be close. And also, Skittles is just cracked out of his mind. Salt 1 and Dark Wizzy. That is Mario versus a sword. But also, like, Kurama beat Salt 1, which is, like, pretty impressive that he did that. So maybe, like, I don't know, he has a Mario problem, but I think that was probably just more Kurama being absolutely cracked out of his mind. And then Apollo Kage Chase. Now, this one's tough because I think Palutena does very well versus Snake. But again, the Snake players, they're starting to just not lose their losing matchups. Like, Snake is slowly creeping back up to that top 10 spot. He was, like, there at the start of the game, and then he kind of fell out of it, was getting power crept a little bit as people were juggling him very, very hard. But now with the tech that's coming out, with the players getting way better with movement and grenade combos, he's slowly sliding back up to that top 10, maybe even, like, top 5 in some people's minds. Snake has a lot of potential as a character. So I do think that he will take it over Chase, but again, it's a tough matchup, and Chase is absolutely incredible, so it could go either way. Now, into the losers bracket, we have Chase versus Toast round 1, and I am going to give that to Chase, but these are probably the two players in the tournament, at least like left in this tournament, that have the most potential to go absolutely crazy just because they're such massive up-and-comers. They have so much to prove, and they are both absolutely incredible. So I think that could honestly go either way. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to pick Chase just because he's been having better results as of late, but also Toast hasn't really been going to anything. So that could go either way. Dark Wizzy and Loaf. Now, Loaf did beat Kurama the last time they played, but also that was like at Riptide 2021, I think. I think it's been a very, very long time. So he clearly is good at the Mario matchup, and for that reason, I am going to give it to Loaf. Now, Dark Wizzy is incredible. He could definitely win that, but again, I have a lot of faith in Loaf. I think he's very, very good. He's being stepped on super, super hard this tournament. A lot of the players that are getting slept on hard in Ultimate right now or at this tournament have a chance to prove themselves, which is super hype. Little spoiler there, but I do have Base Mage over Tata. I just think he's been at this top level position more times. I think will be able to stall it out, but not impossible that Tata does cause that upset, because that's definitely like not an impossible match for Ness. It might even be favored in Ness's favor, but like an even match for Puff is a good match for Puff. We will always say that. And then Leon versus Candle. Now that's probably going to be Hero and Olimar. And Hero Olimar is abysmal for Olimar. It is really, really bad. So I am going to give that one to Hero, or rather to Leon. So I think he does take that, but Candle could definitely take it. Maybe he has a secondary I don't know about, but like Hero Olimar is it is bad. Now our first matchup in the winner's side is Riddles versus Skittles, which is not only bars, but it's gonna be a banger set, and I do think that Riddles will take it. But like, you cannot understate the power of ZD at a local, Skittles at a regional, and MK Leo anywhere else. Skittles at a regional just goes absolutely crazy, but Riddles is also just like a top 10 player. He's absolutely unreal. Some of the best touch of death combos in the game. Just like his Kazuya stuff is very consistent, as well as having an incredible neutral. And the Terry, we'll probably see a bit of the Terry this tournament, honestly, because I think he is giving up a little bit of faith in the Kazuya, if he even attends, because he might be DQing, which is like, spoilers, I hope he doesn't DQ, because that would be unfortunate. But then we have Skills versus Leon probably, and that set would probably go to Skills just because not a great matchup for him. But still, I think Riddles will be taking that, even though it's going to be very, very close, and Skittles could. I just think Riddles it's really hard to bet against Riddles. And Apollo Kage and Salt 1. Now, Apollo Kage did take it the last time they played, but I am going to give it to Salt 1 purely for the fact that he played Snake versus Natoru at Genesis. Now, this might seem like a bad reason, and it honestly kind of is, but it's just like, in my mind, it's like, okay, you are clearly still using this character. You're still practicing this character. You know what Snake wants now. You're so much more familiar. Like, maybe the Snake was a bit rusty at Double Down. He should be aware, like, way, way more of what Snake wants. Salt 1 does not like losing the run back. Like, he very, very often wins the run back, even against like some of the most DLC characters that just kind of body Roy in the game. Like, Salt 1 is an amazing player. Apollo Kage is also absolutely incredible. Like, though, his adaptation from game to game is very, very strong. So we could see Apollo Kage taking that, but I'm going to be a little bit basic and just go Riddles and Salt 1 in the winners finals. Now our first matchup in loser 7th is Chase versus Loaf, and I do think Chase takes that, but both of these players have improved so much since they're kind of highlight tournament at Give Invitational. They both had strong tournaments before that, but that was definitely like a big time where people were able to see how good they really are, and they've improved so much. But again, Chase has just been having a bit of better results as of late, so I am going to give it to him, but that is definitely something that Loaf can take. And Base Mage versus Leon, I'm going to give to Leon. I think Base Mage is very, very good, but I just think Bowser Puff, like, the way Leon plays Bowser, he kills you so early, and he lives for so long. That's just kind of how Bowser works, but Leon does it, like, with some extra special sauce. I don't know how he does. Like, him and Hiro are, like, they are enigmas. It's actually insane how he can do it, and I think that he can avoid the edge guarding. He's really, really good in the offstage situation. He could also go Hero. Like, Leon's Hero, it cannot be understated how very strong it is. Also, his Banjo is kind of crazy, so maybe we'll see that. I hope not, because I want him to win. But, hey, I'm a Leon fan. We like Bowser over here, and he like Hero. But Base Mates could definitely take it. He's very, very good. But Leon is just, like, so incredible, and I think he does have a very strong chance in that. Now for losers fifths, we have Skittle and Chase, and I am going to pick Skittles for this just because it is Skittles at a regional. He is just like, he gets a super big buff there. I don't know why, it's actually insane, and he's just like, he just has so much potential to play. We just don't get to see it. Chase definitely could take it because he's amazing. He's been doing very well recently, but I do think that Skittles will edge that one out. And then Apollo Kage Leon, I did think about this one for like 5 minutes, but I am going to give it to Apollo Kage simply because Leon lost to Kronos recently. That's the only reason. Leon lost to another very, very good Stake player, so I am going to give it to Apollo Kage, but Leon could definitely make that upset. He is absolutely incredible. Although Apollo Kage is incredibly consistent, super strong, some of the best, no, not some of the best grenade conversions of any Snake player I've like ever seen. It's actually unreal. So I do think Apollo Kage does take that, but Leon definitely has a pretty good chance. Now Riddles versus Salt One. This is a match as old as time, and this could go either way. I imagine it's probably going to be Kazuya Roy if I had to guess. Maybe we see Cloud in there. Maybe we see Terry. I doubt it. The Cloud, maybe the Terry. That's actually a pretty decent bounce, but I do think that Riddles will probably take that one. He's just very, very good. But also Salt One has been like on a bit of a rough streak. They both have, but Salt One's been slowly picking it up. He's been doing better and better. Like his Genesis wasn't even that bad. He just had some unfortunate losses. So I do think that it's impossible. That could honestly go either way. Like I said, these were some close sets. This is going to be the closest set. These are two like top 15, top 10 players that are absolutely incredible. Like they're so good. So that could go either way, but I am going to guess that Riddles takes that one. So for Skittles Apollo Kage, I am going to guess Skittles just because the matchup spread between them is very favoring Skittles. I think it's like 1-5, 1-6 in Skittles' favor, which is very, very good for him, obviously. I don't think they played for a while, though, and Apollo Kage has leveled up massively since the last time, but they haven't played for a bit because Apollo Kage has gotten a lot better very, very quickly. So Apollo Kage definitely could take that, but I am still going to guess Skittles. For Salt 1 and Skittles, I am going to guess Salt 1 just because I do think that that matchup is a little bit rougher. Like, it's one of his few rough matchups, honestly. Like, the character is underrated broken. It's actually insane. So I do think that Salt 1 does take that one. And then in the grand finals, I'll say that Salt 1 gets the reset. I don't know why there's a 3 there. We'll say Salt 1 gets the reset, but I do think overall Riddles will take it. Yes, I have the first seed taking it. Yes, I have the second seed getting second. I know I'm kind of crazy, kind of bull like that, but hey, I just think that's what's going to happen. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to sub, all that yada yada. If there's a player that I left out, please let me know down below. I'll be sure to go over how I think the run will be. And thank you for the support. It's been absolutely unreal lately. Video ideas are always important or always helpful. So thank you for everything. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.